Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Keane, A.K.A. the Boogeyman of the Internet. Today I'm going to display Matt Dillahunty for all he's worth on video. I think it's about time I took a little bit of time off from aggravating the shit out of my fellow Christians out there and slapping atheists around. It's been a little while. It's been a couple weeks since I bent an atheist over my knee and spanked their ass. But I couldn't help it after watching the video of the atheist experience of Matt Dillahunty embarrassing himself, committing fallacy after fallacy, almost as if it was being handed to him like fucking cookies to add to his abundance of obesity. I just couldn't control myself. I needed to bend him over, pull down his pants, and beat his fat hairy ass. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear what Matt Dillahunty's intellectual championism has for us.
Because nothing has no power to do something.
Okay,
something
stop. First of all, your assertion that something cannot come from nothing is something you cannot demonstrate.
I don't have to demonstrate.
Yes, you do.
So the person that is speaking to Matt Dillahunty on the phone is putting forth the claim that atheists make. Matt Dillahunty has held to this idea that something can come from absolutely nothing. The reason why he believes this is because he's a bald-headed sheep and he listens to a guy called Lawrence Krauss.
You are telling us that matter arose spontaneously out of nothing.
The laws of nature can create something from nothing.
Literally nothing.
Nothing.
Literally nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. Literally nothing.
Nothing.
Literally nothing.
Nothing.
I don't believe that.
I mean, completely nothing.
These beliefs are barking mad.
A guy who has been refuted and debunked countless times. A man who believes that spontaneous generation is the key.
Nothing, but I'm talking about nothing. No particles, no radiation, no space, no time, and even no laws of physics. My opponents might argue that the multiverse, which our universe might have spontaneously been created in, was created by physicists because they don't like God, because it's eternal and exists outside our universe, the same characteristics that God is supposed to have.
And for those out there that don't know what spontaneous generation means, it means whenever the non-believer claims that life can come from non-life. Whenever they state that there's no God or there's no creator, that nature is an unguided process, that there was no living entity that actually created us, the only alternative they're left with is that somehow the universe scrambled shit together and boom, we came out of nothingness. Everything about us, our sentience, our consciousness, our very existence, our thought process, our emotions, the very idea of love, all comes from nothingness, according to Matt Dillahunty, who sheeps off of Lawrence Krauss. Now, this is what the guy brings forth. He's asking the atheist to demonstrate his assertion. It is actually Matt Dillahunty who has the burden of proof here, because he's the one that actually claims that life and existence in the universe itself can come from nothingness. Now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, it has never been demonstrated, not one single time in all of science and all of philosophy, that life of any kind can come out of nothingness. But yet the atheists hold on to this because this is the only alternative they have. And it sounds absolutely fucking magical. It sounds mental, insane, crazy. But they have the audacity to state that a life, giving life to humanity, is ridiculous, even though we have an overabundance and overwhelming amount of evidence that shows that life has always come from life. Now, as far as guys like Christopher Hitchens, who might have came along had he not been dead, he would have said something to the effect of, where did God come from? But the very definition and description of God is to be an everlasting, not created being. an existence of something that has always been there. It didn't evolve. It didn't go through some kind of changes or anything like that. It's a prime mover that exists outside of nature and time and space itself. Being that the universe has a beginning,
although the universe doesn't have an end, it had a beginning in the Big Bang.
That proves once and for all that the universe is a causality of the supernatural by definition. And if Jackass here actually claims, get this, think about this, if he's going to claim that we came from nothingness, then he's going to have to claim that there's no nature that was involved, absolutely no science, no nothing. If there's no nature, then there's no laws of nature, and by definition, Mr. Matt Dillahunty is making a supernatural claim by definition. And I'm surprised that none of the atheists out there put this dumbass in his place. I guess they just don't care about the actual truth or what we should be educated on when it comes to this kind of stuff. They didn't even bother. They didn't even try to say anything. Let's continue to listen.
I'm explaining why you cannot merely assert that. Of course you can say it. I can say the moon is made of green cheese. You don't get to assert that something cannot come from nothing and expect someone to accept that until you demonstrate it.
Believe it or not, I actually agree with Matt Dillahunty on the comment that he just made. He has not been able to demonstrate that something can come from nothing. He has not proven that in the emptiness of void of nothingness, that life can come from that. Matt Dillahunty, that is your claim, that is the atheist claim, and you just debunked it. You refuted it with your own stupidity because you were being arrogant and narcissistic. You basically just told the world atheists aren't able to demonstrate that something can come from nothing. What a tool. What a tool. Let's continue.
If the definition of nothing is that it doesn't have anything, then that's fine. But until the definition of nothing is something cannot come from it, you have work to do to prove that assertion.
So now Matt Dillahunty wants the person that is on the phone to prove his own assertion and claim that Matt Dillahunty and a majority of atheists claim, that life comes from nothingness. He actually is telling this guy that he's got the burden of proof to prove that Matt Dillahunty's a fucking dum-dum. Well, I think that we have all the evidence in the world at this point that Matt Dillahunty is incapable of functioning as a normal human being. He actually believes in magic. He actually does believe in the supernatural. He's claiming that without the laws of nature, without nature itself, you can fucking make things as poof into existence. That's not what Christians are claiming. That is not what theists or pagans or people of other religions are claiming. They're claiming that there is a life form that existed, that had a mind, sentience, that actually created life, that there was a guiding process, which is much more rational and logical than the David Copperfield bullshit, Chris Angel nonsense, Kojak, the bald boy atheist is fucking yapping about. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't even hardly have to say anything. Matt Dillahunty literally stuck his one foot in his mouth and the other one in his ass and did a complete evolutionary U-turn right in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. I can't believe people actually look up to this fucking guy. Okay, if you say so.